Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hello, good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just a minute. So wonderful. Thanks to all of you for joining. So many thanks for the organizers. So today's topic is very interesting. Just a minute. Yeah. Today's topic is very interesting. Why we should take up spirituality in a very young age, right? So many of you may be thinking whether I'm doing the right thing or not, whether I'm introduced to this spirituality of the science of Bhagavad Gita at a very young age, whether I'm in a right path or not, whether I'm really wasting my time or not. This is a time to, climb the mountain, explore all possible things in this world, achieve so many goals in this world, and become the topmost person in this world, earn a lot of money, and get the CGPA 10 out of 10. All these ambitions are there, right? So to achieve all these ambitions, we need to spend a lot of time in our academics because we are students, right? So are we wasting our time going to spirituality, or is this the right time at all? Should I not consider enjoying this world, because this is the age you can digest whatever you eat, and watch unlimited number of movies. You have the best possible senses functioning very nicely at this age. It's very tender age. Let me enjoy my senses to the fullest possible extent. Then when I become old, maybe after 60, 70, then let me think about the path of spirituality. Of course, all my desires have been fulfilled by then. I have achieved whatever I have wanted to achieve in this world. So that's the age to do spirituality, right? So why I'm wasting my time? So most of my friends, I think 95 to 98% of the students have not taken up spirituality at all, right? So why should I take it up? So all these questions may be there in the corner of our mind. So let's try to understand spirituality, why it is important at this age, from the Shastric point of view, and through some logical common sense as well. It's a lot of self-confidence that, yes, I am very young, true. Yes, I have ambitions in my life, accepted. Yet, spirituality is very much relevant at this age itself. So that we will try to understand. in today's discussion. First of all, we need to understand who is young and who is old. Okay, who is old and who is young, really? See, in old age, what are the difficulties or challenges that one may see? We have our grandfather and grandmother, we have seen them. So the typical challenges that any old person would come across is they cannot walk, right? They cannot walk. In fact, when we were baby, right? Even then we could not walk. We were crippling. So that means whether the baby is old person, old man, and teeth fall off. Even when we were young, maybe like 10 years or 5 years, we were not having teeth at all, right? At least some teeth were not developed to fullest extent. So can we consider a 10-year-old boy or a girl to be old? Or so the another difficulty that one may see in a old person is they cannot digest their food. Even at this age, sometimes even I have seen when I was 15 years or 20-year-old, even now, sometimes I may feel difficulty in digesting food. That means whether I am old or whether you are old, sometimes in mess, you may feel whatever they have been prepared, it's not able to digest for you. So whether you are old. And the other thing is, when you are old, all your desires have been fulfilled. That's one more thing that they say that, okay, I am old now, all my desires have been fulfilled. But to be very honest, you can go and talk to any, I mean, don't do it practically, but try to understand their activities in their old age. It doesn't appear that all their desires have been fulfilled. In fact, at the old age, the frustration is even higher because there is lot many desires which are unfulfilled, and at that age you cannot fulfill those desires. There's so many lusty old men are there, right? And I would like to tell a story regarding this. There was a merchant. He was doing business life, and during his old age, his son was a very spiritual minded person. He thought of giving some realization to his father. He asked some of his friends to take his father to various holy places to help his father understand what is the real purpose of human form of life. So they took him to Badrikashram, and this Char Dham is there, right? Dwarka, Badrikashram, then Jagannath Puri, then Rameshwaram, all different holy places they took. And finally, they took him to the Kashi Vishwanath. So various places, and he was just going through the temples, and no much realization could be seen. So once they arrived to Kashi Vishwanath, there is a famous ghat. Harishchandra Ghat is there. Samshan Ghat. They took him there, and this old man, the merchant, as soon as they took him there, a lot of dead bodies being burned. It is said there that not even a single moment is left where a dead body is burned. So throughout 24/7 into 365 days, there is continuous burning of dead bodies. So he went there and he started weeping and crying like anything. So those people who brought him felt, okay, maybe he has got some realization after seeing the dead body. Then they asked him, I mean, please tell us, what is your realization? Why are you so much emotional? Then he told, the whole life I wasted. The whole life I wasted actually. I never knew that the wood business is so demanding. Whole life I did business in some textile. So otherwise I would have earned a lot of money. So this was his realization. And one more story is there. You might be you might have heard about Chandragupta Maurya, right? So in his kingdom, Chanakya Pandit was there as a minister. He's a very intellectual person. Then Chandragupta Maurya once came to a conclusion that during old age, all the desires are fulfilled. I mean, there is no desires left for a old man. Then Chanakya Pandit took him to a very old man, to the house of very old man. He was on his deathbed. Practically, he was on his deathbed, maybe 90 years old or whatever. Then he took him there, and there was a pre-plan that after some time, a young girl would enter into that house. So they were discussing. The old man was there. He could not able to see him, and he was thinking, I mean, who has come to my place? Then they introduced that he is King Chandragupta Maurya, and Chanakya Pandit has come, and they were simply discussing some social things, and after some time, there was this ankle sound of a young girl. So during the conversation, sometimes he was not able to hear whatever they're discussing. He was asking repeatedly. But as soon as this ankle sound came, anklet sound, then immediately that old man, oh, who has come? Who has come? He was totally alert. Then as soon as she came, entered the house, his eyes wide opened actually, looking at this young girl. Then looking at his change in behavior, then Chandragupta Maurya realized, even you may be going to die in next moment, the desires of a human being will never die. It's everlasting. So one may say, I'll take up to spirituality after my all desires getting fulfilled, I'll be in my old age. No, Baba, it's not going to happen, because there is no end for the material desires. Similarly, like if there is a fire and you add ghee to it, do you think that fire would get extinguished after some time? No, it would increase, right? That's why Krishna very beautifully says in Bhagavad Gita, on verses there, Yehi samsparsha javoga dukkha yonaya yevate adi antavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. The material desires, there is a starting and there is an end. Adi antavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. Those who are really intelligent would not invest their precious time going behind this mirage of sense gratification, which neither gives happiness, but in fact, they would give a lot of misery over a period of time. The whole life, 50 years, 60 years, you have invested your time and energy for satisfying your senses, and you have not fulfilled your desires. How do you think all these unfulfilled desires would come to arrest after a certain age, and all of a sudden you will turn towards spirituality? How do you think so? Because the soul, it cannot be bereft of enjoyment. That's the natural tendency of a soul to enjoy. Sat Chit Ananda. Soul means, I mean, you might have gone through these sessions. Soul is Satchidananda Swarupa, right? Sat Chit Ananda. The natural tendency of soul is to be happy, in the happy state forever. Happy Ananda is beyond the English word of happiness. I'm just giving you a reference. So, though a person who is living in this body wants to be happy all the time, and he's trying to figure out happiness through different means, through different modes. Sometimes he watches a movie, get frustrated. Sometimes he hears the Bollywood song, he would get frustrated, and he goes for a nightclub. He dances there. There is no happiness left there, and he tries what not. He keep on trying throughout his life, but he's unable to get the real happiness. And as age pass by, you just try to understand this point. During your 20s or 30s, you're in your peak of energy. You try to get as much as of sense gratification as possible. You fail. Then as age pass by, then the quantity of unfulfilled desires keeps on increasing exponentially. Let's try to figure out some mathematics here. And the energy exponentially decreases, right? The ability to offer your body for sense gratification would exponentially decreases. Then there is a huge bandwidth gap between unfulfilled desires and your ability to fulfill those desires. It was not fulfilled when you were young, and you let it go, and it keeps on increasing. Then there is a huge frustration arising out of it. And you do not know what you have to do at your old age. That's why most of the retired people, even then they wake up early, they will drink some coffee, and they would try to read some newspapers. They will try to extract some happiness out of there. They will go through so many affairs. Again, frustration. Nothing is there actually in their life. You might have observed some of the you might have witnessed in your own family or your friends' families how frustrated they are actually. They appear to be frustrated. They appear to be happy. It's an illusion again. That's why this is the right age for education. This age is the right age for education. The spirit, you are in a right platform. You're in IIT. You will get material education that is required for your sustenance. And the similar note, this is an age for spiritual education. Any education you would start from a very young age. You cannot teach a old dog a new lesson. There's a saying, right? You cannot become old and then you teach them spirituality. Already there is so much of garbage present for past 50 years of age. You try to teach them any verse of Bhagavad Gita. Can they remember? Can they recite? Can they show interest? It's not going to be possible. Rather, this age, if it is offered, some time of this age, we are not asking you dedicate whole of your IIT Kanpur life, forgetting your all studies, just focus on Bhagavad Gita learning. We are not saying that. Just we have to give equal justice for spiritual education and material education. Spiritual education in the modern education system is totally subdued. There is no scope for spiritual education at all. As if it doesn't exist, there is no importance for it at all. But what is the outcome of it? You can just Google it. How many youths hanged themselves? IIC Bangalore, famous for its education, right? It's an education hub. The director don't know how to handle this number of growing tendencies of students to end up their life. They're so much frustrated, right? They're finding all possible means, artificial means of stopping it, but it is not going to happen unless and until you know who you really are and what is the purpose of life. No matter whatever you try to do, you'll end up with frustration. The most important thing, the very important thing is to make them understand you're not this body. That's the fundamental right actually for every human being to know, first of all. Then there is no question of ending up of our life. You understand that you will never cease to exist, right? Why there is a tendency of suicide? You will feel, okay, there is a problem, I'm not able to handle it, so let me end up this life. That doesn't make sense, right? If there is a problem, you should try to solve the problem. What is the real problem of existence? Birth, old age, death, and disease. These are the real problems. How do we stop it? The problem itself is death. And can you find a solution in terms of death to this problem? It's not going to be possible, right? The problem of death can be only overcome by not taking birth again. If you take birth, there will be again death. What is the guarantee for someone who is ending up their life that they will not take birth again? Jatasya hi dhruva mrityur dhruva janme mritasya cha. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, the one who takes birth will have to die again, and those who die will have to take birth again. There is a chain of birth, old age, death, and disease. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Punarapi janane jatare shenam, Shankaracharya says. It's a chain. There is a way how to end this chain. And to understand this path, you need to read Shastras. You need to associate with the like-minded people who are interested to understand spirituality. Right? And just a minute. How much time do we have?
So it's up to 8.
Up to 8, including question and answers, or can I discuss for another 15 minutes?
Yes, sir, yes. Sure.
Okay, good. Right. Sometimes people would say, we want equal right? Equal right for women right, this right, that right. They want to, get equal rights for everything. But Srila Prabhupada writes in one of his purport, actually equal right is seen from the point of death only. Death does not discriminate whether you are Aishwarya Rai, whether you are Mukesh Ambani, whomsoever you are. Death will not discriminate. Everyone has to die. But the problem is, we see everyone dying around us. We have seen in our family members, so many people have died. In Corona, so many people have died. But we think everyone dies, but I will not die. This is the biggest illusion. Once Yudhishthir Maharaj was asked by this Yaksha, what is the real wonder of this world? Yudhishthir Maharaj replies, he says, the real wonder of this world is people would see everybody dying, but they consider themselves will never die. This is the real wonder. It says life is like a preparation for the examination, and death is the examination. We do not know when we are going to die. So we were speaking about old man and young man, right? How old you are doesn't, from age you cannot understand how old you are or how young you are, right? Maybe I'm 35-year old. I do not know whether next moment I'm dying, I'm going to live in this world or not. Maybe I have 1 year left. I don't know. Maybe an 80-year-old man, he may live for 20 years more, right? Maybe he live up to 100 years. Maybe I may end my life in next 2 years. Similar to any other person. 20-year-old man, he may die out of heart attack. We have seen there was a There was a IAS aspirant. He could able to crack the examination. He got rank within 10. He was giving party to his friends, and during his celebration, the peak of his celebration, so he died out of heart attack all of a sudden. There is a famous hero. There was a famous hero in Karnataka. His name is Punit Rajkumar. Peak of his success. I mean, huge fan followers. Lot of money. The whole family is so rich. He just died recently. 30. I mean, he was in just 35 or 40, maybe in 40s. He was doing jogging and all of a sudden cardiac arrest, then gone. Nobody could survive him. Big multi-specialty hospitals, what they can do, like Sushant Singh Rajput. Yeah. So you can take any examples, live examples you can see. Though they look young, but they are not young as such. There is bhajan. It says, Kamala Dala Jala Jivana Talamala. Like a water on the lotus petal, no? You do not know when it will fall down. There is a bubble in the water, in the flowing water. You might have seen. It will create a lot of bubbles. It will burst. The bubble is created and it's gone. So this material world itself is created in such a manner, it's full of uncertainty. There is no guarantee for anything. And we are making infinite plans and strategies how I'll make my life very happy, and by going for sense gratification. So this attempt of enjoying life, this whole idea of enjoying life is being deeply affected by adopting Western culture actually. So just look into their life, Western culture. Are they really happy? So whatever you may think, aspire for sense gratification, they do it every single moment of their life. Are they really happy? Just look into them. The most frustrated people are from Western countries, right? And henceforth, we need to rightly discriminate what is real happiness and what is the illusionary happiness. Illusionary happiness coming out from sense gratification will not sustain over a long period of time, and it's by the name itself, it's illusion. There is no happiness exist at all. The absence of unhappiness looks like a happiness, and that we call it as the real happiness, the illusionary happiness. The absence of unhappiness, that means if there is a misery and the absence of misery, the people would call it as a happiness. But the real happiness lies when we as a soul participate in those activities which are aligned with the thought process of the scriptures. Whatever is being prescribed in the scriptures, if we align our activities according to that, then we would get the real happiness. We will get the real happiness, right? And yeah. One more thing I would like to tell, that suppose in your home, if some guest comes, in your home, if some guest comes, you have some 10 mangoes, let us say. And out of 10 mangoes, 8 mangoes are very ripened, very nice. It's readily eatable. And 2 mangoes you bought it a week before, all rasas are gone. And you cannot, I mean, nobody wants to eat that. So if a guest comes to your home, what do you think you would give? Which mango you would pick up out of those? Naturally, you would pick up a fresh mango, right? Which is full of rasas. You cut it and offer it to them. Similarly, Lord has given this body to you. Now, I hope you're all from different engineering streams. What an engineer would do, he would pick up the raw materials, he would do some engineering, he would manipulate the matter, he would come up with some transformation of the matter, right? So have you engineered your body really? You tell me that. Whether you have designed this, okay, let me design my nose like this, let me design my eyes like this, my height should be of this much, and my parents will be of this background. Have we done all these things? Did we chose that I'll take birth in a specific family? Nothing, right? Otherwise, everyone would have been, I don't know. For women, Aishwarya Rai, right? So this body is not designed by us. It's given to us for the usage, right? And this machine or a body, which is been given for a specific purpose, if we don't fulfill that purpose, do you think again we'll get this similar type of body? Suppose a labor is there and you give him a machine, maybe a drilling machine, right? And you ask him to carry out some activity, and if he breaks it, would you give him a new machine again immediately? No, right? You consider him as a not responsible person of using that particular machine. You don't feel like giving a new machine to him. Similarly, this body has been given to us. This is a very special machine. Human form of life is not meant to be used like any other body. So we have 84 lakh species. Out of this, human form of life is very precious. And in that human form of life, this young age is even more precious. And time just passed by, this 20 to 40, this is the right age for spiritual understanding. This is the actual age. Whatever you develop at this age, you just only add on to it. You will just build up based on this platform. The platform or the basis of spirituality can be obtained at this particular age itself. And if you give up this easily, then, we are the most unfortunate people. ये रूपे ब्रह्मांडे भ्रमिते कोनो भाग्यवान जीवः गुरु कृष्ण प्रसादे पाये भक्ति लता बीजः. Who is considered to be most fortunate? Those who, by the mercy of Guru and Lord, gets this opportunity to practice spirituality at this right age. And if you don't do it, then we are the losers. So as I was giving the example of this mango, so we will offer this very fresh mango to the guest, right? So this body, as I've already told, is not designed by us. It's given to us by the Lord. All the resources, including this body, has been given to us for a specific purpose, which is meant for self-realization. So if this body, which is very young, if it is using Lord's service, like how you offer a very fresh mango to the guest, if we just offer whatever has been given to us, let's offer this back to the source. And that makes the real sense of this human form of life. So this young age, where you are in peak of your energy, invest your time judiciously to achieve your ambitions. We are not saying you go to Himalayas and just chant Hare Krishna and just go to Himalayas and don't do your responsibilities. No, in fact, Arjuna, he wanted to run away from the battlefield. Krishna told him, you should never run away from the battlefield. Yadyad acharate shrestha. You should set an example for the forthcoming generations. You should fight the war. We need not have to run away from this world. You achieve all your ambitions, but there should be a purpose why you are achieving this. The purpose is not to show off to the people around us that I am the best among the world. Let me prove myself. The purpose is to get whatever material things is possible and use it in the right service of the whole humanity by serving the Supreme. Right? That's the actual purpose. So we are not asking you to, get away from your responsibility. We are asking you to have a right purpose behind your responsibilities. And one more thing is, nobody in this world wants to become the servant. Everybody wants to become boss. Everybody wants to become boss boss. Right? Here is a boss. I want to become boss of this boss. But spirituality teaches that everyone has to become dasanudas. Those who come to this path, they should become dasanudas. Right? Because the true nature of the soul is Jivera Swarupaya Nityara Krishna Das, the servant of the Lord. Even our Modi also says, Prime Minister, sometimes he says, Pradhan Mantri means Pradhana Sevak, he says, no? So you may become Prime Minister also, but the mood is to serve. Then you are the right person. The mood is not to, lord over the material nature, right? You may achieve so many things in this world, but having knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, you know what is the real purpose of life. In case of difficulties or obstacles, you would pick up a verse from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, then you would find an answer, then you would come out of your distress. You chant Hare Krishna, though there may be difficulties, but you can easily pass through those difficulties. So, in a conclusion, I would say you have taken spirituality at the right age. This is not a waste of time. Like while you're writing, there is a pen, there is a pencil. Let us say you're writing. So once you keep on writing, it loses its sharpness, right? So what you do is you take some time out of it and you sharpen by using a mender or whatever, and again you start writing. So do you think that that small time, whatever you spend for sharpening your pencil, is a wastage of time? No, right? So that would make your writing even more effective. So similarly, whatever time that you invest for spirituality in your on your day-to-day basis, it's not wastage of time. It makes you even more efficient in your work. I've done my PhD from IIT Roorkee. During my time, I've got highest number of publications from my laboratory in the very reputed journals. But to be very honest, there were many of my friends who are working even more harder. They were not sleeping at all. Late nights, they used to come to lab. But most of the time, what they do is they would come in the late night in the mood of doing research. 5 minutes, they will open some research paper. They will get frustrated and they would watch all the movies. And they will come again next day afternoon, right? And most of the time they waste useless things. So similarly, on the contrary, those who are into spirituality, they would wake up early in the morning with a lot of energy. They will start the day, and you offer some time to Krishna. Krishna is nothing. Another name of Krishna is time. He himself says, I am time, O Arjuna. Kalos me. He knows how to expand himself. If you invest time to Krishna, then he would make rest of your time much more efficient, right? Whatever work you would have earlier done in X amount of time, you may do it in 0.1x or 0.25x. So my earnest request to all of you is, now you have got this opportunity to practice spirituality. Don't let it go. At any cost, convince yourself. You may have doubts, you may ask us, but don't lose this opportunity and get away from spirituality. No matter what may happen in your life, always come back. Even though there is a difficulty, you discuss with your seniors who are interested in spirituality. Get connected. If you get connected, all your desires, both material and spiritual, would be fulfilled. We are there with you. And if there is any question, we can take it up. Before that, I would like to recite a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. It's been spoken by Sri Prahlad Maharaj. He says, Kaumara acharet pragno dharman bhagavatan iha durlabham manusham janma tadapi adhruvam artadam. The translation goes like this. Prahlad Maharaj said, one who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life. In other words, from the tender age of childhood, to practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements. The human body is most rarely achieved. And although temporary like other bodies, it is meaningful because in human life, one can perform devotional service. Even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can give one complete perfection. It's like bullseye, He's clearly saying, one should Kaumaram Acharet. It's not like Buddha Acharet. He's saying 5 साल से शुरू करना है, right from 5 years. We have already lost 30 years. I'm 35 now. I don't know. You might have lost 15 years or 20 years. We are already old actually. Enough time is passed. We should take it immediately. That's what Prahlad Maharaj says. This human form of life is so precious. It's like jewel. And even slight amount of sincere devotional service. Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, Neha vikramanasho asti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Even an inch advancement in spirituality never go in vain. But you become as intelligent as Albert Einstein, as rich as Mukesh Ambani. At the end of your life, you are going to lose everything. It's not like next life, I'll start my life as a multi-billionaire. No, Baba. Whatever you earned is gone. Completely erased. Zero. But on the other hand, whatever you do, even a little, one verse you read, that is added to your spiritual account, and that spiritual account is eternal. Unlike material account, material account is temporary. So whatever little advancement you do, this is for eternity. Keep this in mind. And LIC says Yogakshemam Bhamyam, right? That is also taken from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Jivan ke saath bhi, jivan ke baad bhi. What they would do? Jivan ke baad, whatever insurance amount is there that they will give to your family members for their sense gratification. They have fooled you for your life, offering some amount of sense gratification, and you have also accepted, and you could not satisfy your senses. Then they say, okay, we will, out of your savings, we will also ask your family members for their sense gratification. And this whole parampara of sense gratification keeps on going. and nobody would get actual happiness out of it. So you are in a right path. So the conclusion is you have got this education at this right age. Now you don't allow it to let go. Practice it. Be associated with the science of Bhagavad Gita, and you would get all the success. Thank you so much and wish you all the best. And if there are any queries, let us discuss. You may raise your hand or you can put a message in chat box. Thank you so much. I hope you're all with me, right? Okay.
Yes.
Are there any queries? No queries. Okay. Chitresh.
Hare Krishna, sir. Sir, my question is, what is the importance of Ekadashi and taking fast in Ekadashi in our life?
Ekadashi, I mean, it's a very long pastime. So, in short, I can say Ekadashi is a very special day, very dear day to Lord, actually. So, you might have heard, okay, big on Diwali or any festivals, what is that? They call it a big billion sale. So, with very little money you invest, you get big products, right? So, this Ekadashi or any special occasions, it's multiple offer is there, bonus offer. Whatever you do, it is multiplied by hundreds and thousands of times. The spiritual, these are the auspicious day to, of course, every day is a festival, but this Ekadashi day, there is a special mercy hidden. So chant more rounds or read more verses of Bhagavad Gita, invest your time. I mean, it comes once in 15 days. Apart from spiritual benefits, there are also material benefits. You fast from grains. I mean, the spiritual reason why we ask you to not eat grains is all the sins get accumulated in the grains in the Ekadashi day. So you should not eat grains at all at any cost. And so fasting will also give you medical benefits. It detoxes your body. And that's why we ask you to fast. You can take fruits, you can drink milk, a non-grain food you can take, and more time should be given to practicing spirituality. Okay, so next question, Anu.
Hare Krishna, sir.
Hare Krishna. Who is speaking?
Anupal.
Please tell me.
In one of the previous sessions of Lakshmi Dabera, sir, while explaining the verse Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Gyalani Bhavat Bharti, sir told that whenever there will be declination of dharma, then Krishna himself reincarnate either in the form of Rama and Parashuram and Narasimha, and in Kali Yuga, Gautam Buddha, and if we go to Christianity, Jesus Christ. So my question is that Jesus Christ. So my question is that if we consider Buddha or Jesus, if they are reincarnation of Krishna, then why they do not preach for Krishna consciousness while they establish their own dharma?
Sorry, there is a misunderstanding. Jesus is not incarnation of Krishna. He is son of God. He is not God himself. He also claimed, I am son of God. People claimed himself to be God. That is wrong, actually. So, see, the different religions have been established, different people. Why Buddha came? So before Buddha arrived, lot of, the whole Varnashrama principle, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, it was broken. And Brahmanas were exploiting the other lower classes. So Vedas were misutilized, basically. So there is a purpose of every incarnation. Some of them could be direct incarnation. There are different levels of incarnations. Okay, so it's a different class. We'll take it up. Purusha avatar is there, Guna avatar is there, Lila avatar is there. So different avatars are there. Shakti avatar is there. Shakti Vishesha means a soul an ordinary soul, highly empowered by the Lord. He is called Shaktavesha Avatar. He is Jesus. Okay, he is not Supreme Lord. He is a soul, a very obedient and dear child to Lord, and he has been empowered to pass on this message for a particular class of people who cannot understand the very big philosophies, who they cannot understand big philosophies. Even Jesus himself says many things need to be told, but for you it's sufficient. Aap itna samajh lo. You try to understand this much, sufficient. Like that, I mean, I can give an example. For a 7th standard student, you can teach him what is a plus b whole square. He would try to memorize, he would understand. Can you explain him binomial theorem? Or can you explain him the theory of relativity? He cannot digest it. He would say, he has gone mad. What he is speaking actually. So you could, to upgrade the consciousness, there are different messengers who would come at different time. Kala, Patra, Samaya. I'm sorry. The time, place, and circumstances. At different time, different place, and different circumstances, the same truth at a different level of is being told for a different level of consciousness the people have. Okay. And Buddha came at that time when the Vedas were misutilized, and he came and told, you forget all the Vedas, just follow me. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Sangam Sharanam Gacchami. Just follow me. Forget all these scriptures, Vedas. And then once people started following Buddhism, it was a big revolution. People used to leave their house and follow Buddha. And then Shankaracharya appeared to re-establish the Dharma, to re-establish the Vedic principles. Similarly, Jesus appeared somewhere. Where he appeared? Jerusalem. So to address such kind of people, to bring to God consciousness, they were not even God conscious. To bring to them, to bring to the God consciousness. You can see even Muhammad Prophet. It's mentioned in the Quran. Don't have sex with your mother. Then you can understand what kind of people he was approaching. What was their consciousness? Okay, I hope, is it clear, Anupal?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Abhishek is asking, do we need to, you can lower your hand, Anupal. Do we need to remove our desires to progress in spiritual path? No, you cannot, bereft of desires. Soul is full of desires. You need to only channelize the desire, transform the desire and take it away from sense gratification to satisfy senses of Krishna. The desire for sense gratification, the desire as it is remains, but instead of keeping me as a center, we will keep Krishna as a center. Instead of satisfying my desires, my senses, I'll try to satisfy the senses of Krishna. Instead of me directly eating whatever I was eating earlier, and I'll transform that and offer to Lord and consider it to be a prasadam and accept it. Right? Okay. Next question. If we do something bad on Ekadashi, will it be multiplied to? Yes, 100%. So whatever, like there is positive multiplication, similarly there is also negative multiplication. That's why we should be very cautious. We should not do, blasphemy. We should not blaspheme the devotees, deities, whatever. And we should not, follow and watch movies during Ekadashi days. Of course, in any day we should not watch. So especially we should not. We should be more conscious during these auspicious days. Chitresh is asking, but why Jesus had extraordinary powers like God if he is also a soul? That's why I told you, he's a Shaktavesh avatar. Just, why only Jesus? Many souls in our sampradayas, they have done wonders actually. Take the example of Haridas Thakur. He was born in a Muslim family. He was throughout the day chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Throughout the day, 24/7, non-stop. The Hindus, uh, they felt, okay, why a Muslim born person is chanting our God's name? And Muslim people thought, why he is chanting other religion's name? So they both complained to the Nawab, and Nawab asked him, you stop this chanting, otherwise we will kill you. And he ordered his soldiers, take him and beat him to death at 21 marketplaces. He was old man, he was not having food, he don't no energy at all, he was just chanting full his sadhu. And these big soldiers built up their bodies, they were beating him non-stop. From where this power come actually? 21 marketplaces, and they could not kill him at the end of 21st marketplace. They requested him, I mean, if you don't die, the king will kill us. Then he, by chanting Hare Krishna, he left his body, samadhi. Then they threw his body into the water, Ganges river. After some time, he came back to the life, and he came back to the king's palace again. He stood in front of the king, and king felt, okay, what is this personality altogether? Take the example of Prahlad Maharaj. Hiranyakashipu, his own father, he tried all possible means to kill this child. He was thrown out of a big mountain. A mad elephant was asked to run over this 5-year-old boy. He was put in a place filled with deadly snakes. He was put into fire. He was attacked by swords. What not? All possible means. He was poisoned. He could not kill him. Take example of our own Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. At the age of 70, we were discussing about old man and young man. Take the life example of Srila Prabhupada. At the age of 70, I mean, people will not go from one washroom to another washroom to bedroom. They need a support. Srila Prabhupada at the age of 70 crossed over the ocean, traveling for 2 months in a Jaladuta, which is a cargo ship, had twice heart attack. People attempted to kill him with knife in US. They stolen his typewriter. Practically no money, nothing to eat. I mean, don't have anything to eat. Don't know who with whom he can approach for some help in US. Totally helpless condition from mental point of view. But he had complete faith in Krishna, that Krishna would protect him. And what is the result? Today we are speaking Bhagavad Gita. We are together. It's just because of his mercy, right? The one man's decision to uplift the consciousness of the entire community, entire humanity. He has taken that risk. Now we can see the fruits, right? So they're all empowered souls. They can do wonders. We cannot, just imitate them. Okay. I mean, we can keep on giving examples in the interest of time. How to convince others to take up spirituality in early age, who even after knowing these things, ignore and try to satisfy their senses. So what you can do is, you can give them Krishna Prasad. Krishna Prasad has all the magic, even though they know the philosophy, but nobody can say, you bring a very nice gulab jamun offer to Krishna. Even an atheist would pick up and eat. Slowly, by taking Krishna Prasad, their senses would purify. They would get that attraction. So if sometimes, if possible, you can take them to temples, show them love and care. And if, I mean, everybody goes through so many problems, right? So try to help them in whatever means possible from your side. Build good relationship, and slowly, with God's mercy, they may pick up a spirituality. So next question from Mandeep: why do our hearts always seek social status, even our minds? It is useless. Is it due to our society? Why do our hearts always seek social status? Okay. If you want to unmute and ask, I'm not getting it exactly. You're speaking about heart and mind. Even in our minds, it says useless, is it? Maybe whatever I've understood, I'll try to explain. Why do we want a social status? Because it's misidentification of the soul, right? Mithya hankara. We consider ourselves to be body. It's a bodily consciousness. We want to prove ourselves better than anyone. It's highly competitive world, no? We want to prove ourselves. We are better than anyone in this world. So that's the reason we seek for social status. But one who take up spirituality or Bhagavad Gita, then he consider himself to be lower than the blade of grace. Trinadapi sunichina tarorapi saishuna amanina manadina kirtaniya sadhari. The real spirituality exists in this verse. The essence of all spirituality. One should consider oneself to be lower than the blade of a grass, as tolerant as a tree, all giving all respect to others and no respect for oneself. And with this mood, we can chant the Lord's name 24/7. So next question from Deepak Kumar. Sir, after losing this human life, will the soul have to leave 8.4 million species to get human life again? Need not be. Especially for those who have come to this Krishna consciousness, it's guaranteed, even if you fall down, because you have invested some of your precious time to understand the absolute truth, you will get human form of life for sure in the next life. A better human form of life where you need not have to spend much of your time for keeping your body and soul alive, I mean, intact. You need not have to work hard like others for your livelihood. You would take up birth in a nice God conscious atmosphere, so that you can practice from wherever you have left. You will take up from that point. So that's the glorification of investing your time in this. In this time actually. So, is there any other question left? When we engage in spiritual activities in young age, society do not accept it. Why? Because you're flowing against the current, right? Flowing against the flow of water. Swimming against the flow of current of water is very difficult. So the entire world is behind sense gratification. Any ad you watch, or anything that you see in this world would always promote sense gratification. So someone is doing what they're not doing is not digestible from their point of view. So they will not accept it. And we do not have to, convince everyone that, okay, or take approval from everyone in this world. I'm practicing spirituality. You please also accept me. We need not have to do that. People would pinpoint everything. They have a problem, whatever you do. Even if you practice spirituality, they have a problem. Even if you don't practice spirituality, they have a problem. People have problem with whatever you do. So we need not have to worry convincing others about whatever we are doing. First, you convince yourself. If you convince yourself, then that's it. No matter what people would say around you, you don't worry much, right? So next question. But sir, isn't it is still a risk to get a new life? Because we may become ignorant at that time and fall down again. That's why we are telling, ensure that you don't take birth again. We are not asking you to take birth again. Even in the worst case, if you take birth, there is a better opportunity for you to practice spirituality. But it's always risky to take birth again. It's always risky. So finish it off from at this life itself. Now you have understood the truth. Why do you want to take this risk again of taking birth in this world? Finish this game. Go back to that place which is called as Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha means no kunta, no pain. This is a kunta planet. Kunta means that place which is full of misery. Padam padam yadvi padam. At every step there is a danger. Every step there is a danger. So now you have a healthy body, you are young, you know the philosophy, you know what is the purpose of life, you have this intelligence given to you. That's why you could able to understand the great spiritual subject matters, and you have interest. Why do you want to take a second chance? Finish it off, and it's up to you. Nobody can force you like what you want to do, how much you have to practice your spirituality. You should find a balance, like how much time you can invest for spirituality, how much time you can invest for your fulfilling your material ambitions. But at any cost, align even your material ambitions to in synchronization with the with the highest purpose of human form of life, which is self-realization. That is real intelligence. Okay, I think we have taken enough questions. If there is any last question, we can take it up, or we can end the session. Is it fine? Okay, I think we can end the class.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful session. We can end now.
Okay, thank you.